what have I learned in 4 years, and more importantly, where's my walk with God right now? To be honest, I've been afraid and restless most of my life. Restless because my mind and heart always yearned for passion and depth. But what I chose to satisfy these yearnings were scattered things of this world. I would read and think, and listen to music, and watch movies and television, and talk to people, and anything that could temporarily satiate the restlessness. I would say to myself that I was looking for passion and truth and purpose, but I even doubted this because I was too reluctant to pour out my energy and heart for any one thing. Secondly, I was afraid of being found out for all of my failings and weaknesses. I was never really confident in any of my talents or abilities, and I was afraid people would eventually figure this out. And so I prayed for discipline and strength, discipline to tame and organize my restlessness, and strength because I felt so weak. I should have given it all up to God, as the saying goes, surrendered and fully broken before the Lord. But that was a frightening prospect. It meant I was getting out of control. I could always find ways to deal with my issues on my own. I prided myself on my resilience. So 3 years go by in college, and I was getting by pretty well. Internally, I was still the same, but on the surface, I had my act together. At the end of my first week into senior year, my sister called me and told me that our father had passed away. He had been struggling with cancer for the past 5 years. The weeks between the end of my summer internship and the start of senior year, I spent in the hospital with him. My brother, mother, and I would take turns staying the night with him. I would spend that time being strong because I didn't know what else to be. I didn't know how to react when my sister called. I behaved as anyone should. I was very solemn on the phone, but I was all at once sad, angry, relieved, and confused. I was angry at God, but I was more angry at myself for not having been a better son. But there wasn't really time to resolve all these emotions. I was trying to figure out my major so I could graduate on time, and full-time recruiting was occurring at the same time. It was easy to reason myself with these things. My morning occurred in my free time when I was alone for hours in my room. I guess I was never mad at God for my father dying. I was more angry at this situation and the way that everything had played out. Mainly because I just wasn't ready to let go yet. Sorry, guys. So I always thought to myself, maybe if the situation was different, if I was more mature, or if I was, I don't know, if I could just be a little bit more older, maybe a few more years out of school, I could deal with it better instead of then where I felt so entangled in my own affairs that I just didn't know how I could help my mother, sister, or younger brother. Eventually, senior year moved on. I signed my job contract. Classes and exams came and went, and I stand here still pretty unsure about my life, about where, what exactly my passion is, the passion and depth that I had claimed to have been looking for the entire time. I had allowed so many voices to occupy my heart, the voices of the people that I sought advice from, my own thoughts, and the entire time God was calling me to sit in His presence and find peace in Him. I've always been looking for God's voice in my heart, but His voice had always been clouded by all the other voices. I think it really was just last night that His voice came through. We were praying in a small group, and we were praying for all the people in our group and their plans over the summer and what things they were uncertain about, the job plans, what they wanted to do with their lives. And I was praying and I was saying, God, what is my passion? Just give me a heart to let go, to really surrender. And I think this time it was His voice because He said, Son, I am your passion. And I think at the same time my heart said the same thing. I said, Father, you are my passion. So I think with that, it's been a strange 4 years at GCC, and especially this last year. But I am hopeful that this cry in my heart is going to stay with me as I enter the adult world. I think as you guys enter, as one of my classmates did, whether they feel the same way, that they do pursue God as their passion, regardless of where they work and where they may be. So that's it, guys. I hope that makes sense.